Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori, and today we're covering a topic that really hits close to home for me, which is anxiety and just living with anxiety, what it's like, the symptoms, and everything. We're going to cover all that in this video. But before we get started, I want to go ahead and tell y'all to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can see when I post more videos. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so I wanted to let you guys know that with me, anxiety is not just a mental thing, it starts affecting me physically. So I'm able to tell what my triggers are before I have a panic attack or before anxiety starts taking over me. So I start getting hot, I start sweating, get really dizzy, thinking I'm gonna pass out. And that's the thing about anxiety, it has a way of making you feel like you're gonna die within that moment, and nobody around you knows what's going on because it's easy to hide what you're feeling inside and other people don't even notice it. Another thing that I want to mention to you guys is that it's easy to feel alone whenever you're feeling like super anxious all the time or like you're about to have a panic attack. But just know anxiety affects more than 40 million people, and Black women are at higher risk of experiencing anxiety and depression because of everything that they take on, such as motherhood, living life, just the daily stressors that we take on. We often don't seek help for it. I noticed that my anxiety really peaked when COVID spiked. So as COVID went up, my anxiety seemed to go up at the same rate. And that's due to social anxiety. So feeling like I kind of want to be around people, but then when I get around people, I feel like everything's closing in on me because I feel like I'm not supposed to be around people. And I feel like other people can relate to that. So if you are experiencing social anxiety, I want you to go ahead and comment down below and let me know that you're experiencing it too, because it's good to know that other people are feeling the same way that you feel. So another thing that I've learned about anxiety is that it does not need an incident to occur for you to start feeling anxious. So in my opinion, that's called unprovoked anxiety. So when you're sitting there and you just start feeling anxious and tense, it can just come from anything. So that means that your brain is thinking about something else that you have to do without you even knowing. So subconsciously, your brain is telling you, I need to be worried about this, this, and that. So in those instances, that's when you use your tools to help you feel better and help calm yourself within that moment. And we're gonna go into some of those tools. So some of the things that I do to control my anxiety is journaling, really taking some time to do some deep breaths and reflection while I'm journaling. So it's really good in that moment to write down what's making you feel anxious. If you can pinpoint what's making you feel anxious, then you're able to address that. But if you never know what's making you feel in that moment that you're having anxiety, you won't be able to fix it. So for me, I had a lot of trouble with, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would just be so anxious. My heart would be racing and I wouldn't know what it was. So what I started doing is right in that moment, I'll write down what I'm thinking about that's making me feel that way, so then I can address that. And the main thing, guys, I know some people don't feel comfortable with it, but the main thing is getting a therapist that you feel comfortable with using. So for me, it's like, how can I preach that therapy is good by me being a therapist or in pursuit to be a therapist if I don't even have my own therapist? So I really wanted to use that time to show, like, for my future clients, I get therapy too, and it's okay. So as you can see here in this clip, I'm utilizing my journaling tool that my therapist recommended for me to try. She explained the importance of journaling to remember the things that make us feel anxious, upset, or overwhelmed. This is super helpful when I have my next session because sometimes it's easy to forget the little details of things that bother you. I use this as a time to really breathe and transfer everything that's on my mind to paper. And it's really crazy how much better I feel after journaling. Your journal entries can be as long and in depth as you want them to be, or you can keep them super short and sweet. It's completely up to you. Don't feel that just because you're not a writer, you can't sit there and journal and reflect on things in your life that are bothering you or just something that bothered you that day. And really, you can even journal about the positives because it can help you really have moments of gratitude when you're sitting there and reflecting on what's going on. Since the weather was nice, I decided to sit outside on this day and really just reflect on everything that was going on. But most nights, I just start my journaling right before I go to bed, and I allow that to be a time that I dump everything out of my brain and make sure that my mind is clear for a good night's rest. So you can choose whether you do it outside, inside, what time of day you do it. It's completely up to you. A good thing that I would say to try is to get a good daily routine. So that also includes what you do at night. And I know for me, like if I take the time to really go through good sleep hygiene, which is what my therapist taught me, I sleep better throughout the night. So some people think that wine really helps you sleep, and she taught me that no, it does not. It'll help you sleep for about, let's say, 3 to 4 hours, but then it wakes you up in the middle of the night once your wine wears off or whatever you're drinking wears off. So what helps me is 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed. If you drink a glass of wine, that's fine, but don't rely on the wine to help you sleep throughout the night. So let's go in more detail of what sleep hygiene really is. So that's making sure that you drink your wine or whatever alcoholic beverage you're drinking 3 to 4 hours before you actually go to sleep. And another thing is stay in a good nighttime routine. So if that includes doing face masks, putting your phone away an hour before you go to sleep, do all of that. So let's get into a really big one, which is coping skills versus self-medicating. So I know for our community, I can only speak for the Black community because that's the community that I'm a part of. A lot of people don't like to go get therapy, and they feel that they can handle things on their own, such as self-medicating by alcohol, drug use, whatever. So I personally feel like, do what works for you, but are you really getting to the root of what's making you feel the way that you feel? So that's when your coping skills will come in rather than just self-medicating and treating the symptoms. You really want to treat what's causing the symptoms. So for me, if it's that I'm overwhelmed, I need to create more of a plan and then just sit down and say, okay, let me schedule out my day so I won't get so overwhelmed. Or if it's things that's deeper within me that I need to address, then that's stuff that I'll work out with my therapist. So finding the right therapist can take some time. I really don't want you guys to think that if you had one therapist and they didn't work for you, that you're just done with therapy. So give it some time. Find somebody who can relate to you. If you're younger, you might need someone younger who can relate better to what you're going through. And if you're older, you probably need someone around your age to help you with that as well. And as I was mentioning earlier with self-medicating versus coping skills, I know a lot of people smoke to deal with their anxiety and depression, but there are also other ways out there to help you cope, such as CBD, they have drops, they have gummies, they have a lot of things, melatonin to help you sleep at night. There's a lot of natural things that can help you deal with your symptoms. But as I mentioned earlier, it's not enough to just treat the symptoms. You have to go deeper and figure out what's really bothering you. Self-care is so important. Like, you guys don't realize the importance of unplugging, coming outside, getting some fresh air, really just changing your environment. Like today we're out here at the lake, we're getting all of our vitamin D from the sun, and it's really just helping me feel refreshed, revitalized, and able to just tackle whatever task I have to get done. So I don't know if you all have seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix, but a lot of us are tied to our social media account, and we don't realize that we're not taking real time for ourselves. Like if I ask you, what does self-care look like for you, and you say, oh, it's just me scrolling on my phone, that's really not giving your brain a break. So really get outside, try to leave your phone inside for, let's just say 30 minutes to an hour a day, and see how much better you feel. And of course, what you eat has a huge impact on how you feel as well. So making sure you're staying healthy, eating, especially during this time with the pandemic, you just want to just be on top of everything, keeping your immune system up, keeping your mental health up, and check in with people who you might not think will be suffering from mental health issues such as anxiety, depression. The list goes on with what your friends could be going through and you don't even know. So just random check-ins with people. If you have friends that just had a baby, check in on them, because I know I had a lot of postpartum anxiety, more so than the postpartum depression piece, but it was still something that other people wouldn't have even known that I was going through during that time. But just really take the time to check in on your friends. And I hope that this video was beneficial for you guys. I really want to incorporate some more mental health videos on my channel, especially since I am studying to get my LMSW, so I really want to help you guys as I go on my track to become a therapist. I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel for more content like this, and hit the notification bell and give this video a big thumbs up. Bye guys.